Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be the boss prep guide. A little bit late, sorry about that. We don't get all the scout boosts till late anyway, because they don't show up ahead of time. This is going to be an interesting boss. It's the first boss with hype. Now, I am going to assume hype works in boss like everywhere else. So essentially, if you have hype level 1, you're overhyped, over the boss. Typically, hype is adding like anywhere from probably like 17 to 20% per hype level. So if you have a hype level 4, just expect to hit probably like 80% harder than you would otherwise, give or take 75, 80%, ballpark like that, and so on and so forth, right? So higher level hype will definitely make your character more effective if hype works in boss battle, and I am assuming it will. I would just operate under the assumption that it will. So the boss buffs are not great. You get 200% for reinforce, and then you get another 150, so 350% boost there. Red gems is 100% from the boss, 100% from the scouting, so 200 total. And protect is just like reinforce, 350%. This and the boss scouting buff basically cancel each other out. So there's that, and then you have some extra health. The boss itself does damage, okay, straightforward. It's got a gem shield that also chucks out botch gems. It's a yellow gem shield, 100 yellow gems. Yellow is one of the better colors for shield breakers. Every boss battle should start with one of a few characters I'm going to throw out there for you when we get there. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters that can basically make the whole board full of yellows in one click. So 2 moves and the yellow shield goes down. I would not start a boss lobby probably without at least one of those 5 characters in it. They're going to be way more important than in the slots they're in than any damage dealer. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. We have the increase MP cost, so the boss is going to increase your your MP probably on your third turn, boss's second turn. I'd assume this will come out and make everything cost 10 additional MP. It's a pain in the butt. Botch gems also mean since the boss is making a board full of them, you can't leave your special gems out. So you need to finish your cycles, right? Or not put your special gems out, or you'll be dead in the water, so you can't recycle. And then if there's a botch gem on the board, the boss is going to do more damage. Just assume he's going to do more damage, right? Just work under that assumption. It's 2 million per botch gem, max count of 1 gem on player's board. So I'm assuming that's 1 per player, so 8 million extra damage. That can be mitigated with like the aggressive boss battle perk thing or whatever we're calling it these days. I can't think of the name right now. So that's kind of the boss in general. This will probably be a slower-ish boss for a lot of factions, right? So you should bring some certain things. That being said, let's kind of jump in here. Look at my lineup card. These are probably, in my opinion, the best damage dealer in each of the slots. That does not mean you should use them in each of the slots. In fact, I would not use Jacob, period, because this has some of the best yellow shield breakers available in defensive. I would bring Austin, for example, for a yellow shield breaker. 1 click, 40 random gems into yellow. Just boom, 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 over and over again. He's also healing himself with the leech gems on the off shield cycles, so he won't die on this boss, right? So benefit there. DK Cena, 1 click yellow move that refills itself, so he can take the shield down himself in 46 random yellow gems, right? He can just hit this twice and the shield's probably down. Somebody else in the team probably can get the 2 other gems we're going to be missing, right? So defensive, I don't think there's any other choice. If you have one of these 2 characters at gold, that's what you need to bring to help your team, period, right? Don't worry about the damage. If you, for some reason, you don't have one of those 2, Then I think Jacob is probably the next best. There's a few different ways you could probably run him. I would probably play it safe and be able to recycle and have the choose blue in here. You could use like a red to blue plate and be one short of recycling the sub. So that means you'll have to swipe. But if you put this move in, the rock bottom, then you wouldn't have to swipe, but I don't see how you're going to refill this guaranteed every time, so this just makes more sense to me. So yeah, that's Jacob, the way you could run him. A kind of a sleeper damage pick, but again, would not run him because I would be running the other stuff as Bubba Ray Dudley. So red gem damage boosted 52% per trap broke. You're going to be able to break 7. That's 350%. That's a lot. That's a big buff. And 7x4 area swap into red gems on the finisher. If you have a purple, you would want a purple, potentially if you have a purple to red skill plate, you can get 2 of these columns out and then hit the finisher, but that might slow you down in the primary slot, but you could potentially do that. Just a thought, but I wouldn't bring Bubba again either. Because this slot is shield breaker, right? Same thing to me goes for, so I'll show you what I'm actually going to bring. I'm actually going to bring Austin. Same thing goes in this slot. I think Cody would be the best damage dealer here, if, with a couple caveats, if you have a Frankie plate, right? Frankie and Titan is going to give you 700% per cycle. Besides the buffs, and in boss, for some reason, only in boss, those plates will work off of sub. Not in boss, they won't work, so you could run this triple color move. If you could get 2 cycles off a turn with this, Cody could probably do, with those plates, probably like a good 500, 600 million. I don't like KO for this boss battle, to be honest. With the shield going up and him being so sketchy on turn 1, I think KO is a huge mistake. To be fair, I also think Cody's a mistake. Who I would be running here and will be running absolutely is Goldberg Hall of Fame. Why? Because, again, he's another insane shield breaker. You're just going to click this top move, and it's going to make a bunch of yellow gems, 42 of them at least, in fact, and recycle itself. So you just click this twice, shield will be down, you'll be a hero for your team, right? So these are the 2 guys I'm bringing in these slots, massive shield breakers. This is what I would recommend for everybody else, period, without exception, right? As long as you have them. Other things you could do, I mean, like I said, Cody should be pretty strong, actually, with the Frankie stuff. Otherwise, he'll just be okay. You could always bring somebody like Jay who grows his damage, because Jay hits really hard, and he can cycle his stuff, 2 cycles per turn. So somebody like Jay would be okay-ish, but you really need to be bringing the shield breaker in this slot, like, legitimately. And Final Boss Rock is also defensive, so he's another yellow shield breaker one, where you just can click the finisher over and over again. So defensive actually has 3 different options, so everyone should be bringing a yellow shield breaker in defensive to help their team. This guy would be solid damage too. Coco, if you're running his blast setup, he's going to put a couple big multiplies out with the red gems. Especially if you have Titan Frankie for that, he would be really solid damage too. Right up there probably with Cody-ish. So those would be your damage dealers, but with how difficult I think most factions will find it. Now this doesn't apply necessarily to every faction. Let me save that, because that's what I'm actually going to run. So there's that, right? So now let's go to the damage slot, and this is the premier damage slot. I think Austin will be the best, with some caveats. For him to be the best, you're definitely going to need the Frankie plate, like, no question. Also, though, there's the factor of his moments, right? He's got 150% red on this one, 25 on this one, that's 175, another 75 here. So that's like 250% extra red gem damage on the moment. And then every cycle, you're getting 700% extra gem damage off the 2 plates. That's huge. The other thing that makes him uniquely good to this boss is it's 2 moves and done. And you're not cascading, right? You're not chucking extra gems. Rumble plates don't work without a swipe anyway. So he is in the unique situation of the only one that I can think of that will be able to get 3 cycles off turn 1 potentially. If you get 3 cycles off turn 1 potentially with those 2 plates in this moment, he could probably push upwards of, and then in this also this is before adding hype, mind you. Probably like, I want to say close to 1.2 billion on 3 cycles on turn 1. And then if you added like level 1 hype like I have, 1.2 billion would be another 240 million-ish. So you're talking like 1.4 billion out of Austin if you can get 3 cycles. Now, if you cascade a bunch on the finisher every time, you may not. Boss can be kind of laggy, so don't necessarily assume you'll be able to get 3 cycles, but it's only 6 moves. And it's within the realm of possibility for sure. And he's just going to grow his damage more and more every time. Either way, Austin with a yellow shield breaker will, like with the Frankie plate, with these moments, should win the boss on turn 2. And that could be a two team carry. So like if you go in with these two, and no one else probably matters if the Austin is heckin' built, right? So there's some other aggressive, like I said, is the damage spot. El Grande should be really strong as well. Not quite as strong, right? Red Rumble isn't going to go off without a swipe, so you can't grow your damage. So I don't like him quite as much. I would start with the 2 greens, and then cycle back to the Health Steal. There's no way you're going to get 3 cycles on turn 1, though, because this would be 2 moves, and then after that, you're looking at 3 moves and 3 moves. And I would run him something like this, Steel, Goldberg, because that gets your greens loaded, 40% red and 40% rainbow, something like that. He'll be solid. I don't think he'll be second, though, to be honest. I think Showboat Seth will probably be second in damage right here. Triple red, 2 cycles. He's going to grow the damage, especially if you have a rainbow reinforce or red reinforce to throw on him and you got some of his moments. He's ticking all of the boosts with the reinforce, the red, and he's really smooth to play. So you would just run him like, the same type of thing. Sting here, Bulldog, and then the same 2 trainers I did on the other one. You could use Naya. Naya would be better if you have her, because he could benefit from the 3 extra gems. So Naya over like Stunning Steve if you have her, right? So, but Seth I think will probably be the second best. He'll grow his damage rather nicely. And Grande probably third. It's going to be close between Grande and Seth. And then kind of another really potentially one that could hit hard if you have everything is always Ali when it comes to red, because you can make the countdowns that increase your bonus damage. You hit the sub. You need his gear and all of the stuff with Ali, and then you're slapping this over it. And you can run really nice like kind of trainer setups where you're doing this kind of thing. So you could do this, and you wouldn't need Santa. Otherwise, you'd use Santa and Sherry and that kind of thing. And then, Leo sort of thing. And now you're getting, and then generate countdown gems in Leo. Like this kind of thing. So now you have 13 countdown gems. That's 260% boosted to your gems. You're going to have really big multiplies with the moment off of the sub. And then you're going to hit the Ollie shuffle and pop it over it. So Ollie that way actually hit super hard too, with the reds. So this like I said, is your damage slot. If for some reason you don't have them, decent shield breaker is Rex Regum. You could always use somebody, to be honest, like a Muda that will recycle. You can maybe get 2 cycles off in boss with Muda. I don't know. I've never really used him much. Yes, there's no buffs he's going to hit, but when you hit for 300 million the first time, and you essentially have the option of doubling that the second time, so I mean, there's always that. But yeah, it's basically those guys. Hopefully you have them. They're what there is. Kind of honorable mention, I suppose, here. Slower version of El Grande. They're both doing 200% on the gem buff, but it's a little bit slower to get there, right? So hustle, loyalty, respect, SE, so he'll be a decent damage dealer as well. So this is your spot to bring a big damage guy, right? And kind of get it done. Then we go to Hogan is always a great shield breaker and he can grow his damage. So like personally to me in this slot, I would bring two people on my roster. I would bring Austin first. If I didn't have Austin, honestly, I'd probably bring Hogan because he's going to grow his damage huge. With this particular set for boss, and he'll be able to help with the shield. So if you got all the stuff for Hogan, right? Like he always hits really hard, and the longer the boss goes, the better he gets. So he might even be my second pick behind Austin just because of the utility you bring, and the likelihood the run will succeed is very large, right? But Austin I think is just gonna do the work, to be honest. Focus kind of sucks this one, which is weird. To be honest, it's really weird how bad focus sucks. You can go through and find whatever kind of yellow gem guy you have to help with the shield. I don't have the time to go through everyone that could be good on yellow, right? Seamus can do some red with some multiplies. Yeah, it is what it is, right? But I like Drew, and in particular, I like the reinforced build. So this should be able to do about 350. So one thing first, he doesn't naturally recycle. So if you want to keep recycling him, you need this plate, and a reinforced plate will add much more damage, 200% per cycle, and help him grow. But without the reinforced plate, see, this only makes 9 yellow MP. So if you want to be able to, and it doesn't go up, we'll just upgrade it and make sure that it doesn't go up even. Sometimes it goes up even when it doesn't say. Yeah, so you need that plate I have equipped to always recycle without having to swipe. And if you have to swipe, that's a negative because it takes too long. This should do about 350 million with this trainer setup per cycle. It's 6 moves, but it is reinforced, so I don't know if you can get 2 cycles a turn. But if you can, he's probably good for about 700. I'm going to give him a whirl here in focus because I really don't like anybody, and I expect people to be bringing these two. And when I say I expect in my faction, I mean I expect some version of this, that I expect them to have at least, every run should have somebody that can break the shield by themselves in 2 clicks. You know what I mean? There's no reason not to, with all of the options available. So I personally, if my lobby doesn't have one of them, I'm not clicking go, right? I will wait to get the right setup because I'm not interested in wasting my time. That's just how I look at it. How you guys do, it's up to you. If you have a couple Austins and they turn out to be as good as I think, maybe it's better, right? Maybe you don't need that kind of thing. So, but this one just kind of sucks really for damage when you look at it. And even if you sort by the filter, reinforce, nobody's good here besides Drew. Protect, nobody's good besides Drew. I just feel like the reinforce is going to be better than the protect for Drew. You could also do the protect if you wanted to, but way less trainer options. And then I am missing some people, so it's possible one of these are really good, but I don't think so, right? And then we haven't talked about Aleister Black. I don't even know which style he is right off the top. The boss is supposed to be made for him, to be honest. Don't go with the reinforced build. It's a worse version of Seth in every way. It's a worse version of Drew in every way. He does have the hardcore. The buff is less than Seth's buff. That's not hardcore. You have to swipe and do nonsense. The purple move is just not good. He is chaotic. Like I said, I just bring Goldberg. Don't bring this guy. The way I would run him if I was going to run him would definitely be triple yellow, right? So you get the damage per the protect, which will be okay. And then you get the boosted yellow move to recycle and then also break the protect. So you get some damage on that. He will grow that. I just don't think it's enough to be good. You can bring him because he also helps with the yellow shield, so I guess I don't hate him. If you have him gold, I think he's fine to bring in the chaotic slot because he can also one-click the shield. So I take that back. I was just annoyed with Aleister Black, to be honest. You can bring him or Goldberg in this slot, and he would add damage, so he probably would be better than Goldberg. So if you have him, yeah, he would be, not probably. Mherex, get your head out of your butt. So if you have him, go ahead and bring him at the chaotic slot, because when it gets to the shield, you can just one-click it with that yellow move he has. It's not as good as the other ones, but it's pretty good, and he'll bring decent damage in the other slots. So to me, I'll level him up a little ways, right? Because I have to beat his victory tour, and Lord knows I won't do it at a low level. But I can't, I just can't, I don't think I can bring myself to invest in him all the way to gold. I love Aleister Black, man. Like, I like his look. His animation is awesome for his entrance and stuff. It's still he is the best entrance, maybe one of the best entrances of all time for me in the WWE. I always have loved his entrance. That's why he's so annoying that he's not good. But yeah, you can bring him there too. This isn't a bash on him. Especially if you have hype. If you have like hype level 4 Aleister Black, if you're a spender that decided to do that. One, I question your sanity. Or two, if you got lucky and just have pulled a bunch of hype for him, cool, right? That'll definitely help on the protect build. So he could do some things at hype 4, assuming again hype works. So actually probably something like this would be really good. If you don't have Black, Goldberg is really good. If you don't have Austin with all the stuff, then maybe you're looking again at El Grande, Seth, you know what I mean? Like Hogan. I think Hogan's going to be really strong. For those of you that have built him and have the stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about in Boss. He grows his damage well. So really my top 2 choices here is Austin 1, Hogan 2, and then probably Seth 3, and then El Grande and Ali, right? But I think Austin is just really going to do some work here if you have the stuff. And this slot is just kind of do what you want, really. Like, bring anything useful. If you have some damage, bring some damage. If you have yellow gems, bring yellow gems. If you have boss breakers that are useful, you could bring them. If your faction doesn't go very deep, or goes deep, isn't fast, Regeneration X is what you want to bring. It increases MP generation of all gems. So like when you get a match, it fills it up faster. So you'd pop that on the 10 MP turn where your stuff goes up 10 MP, and then hopefully you guys can get restarted again on one match kind of thing. But if you're getting to that point in the boss, this is going to be a very, very frustrating boss for you guys. This one, the breaker to bring is aggressive for sure, which is decreases the damage, right? Exhaust, I'm sorry, is the one you want to bring for sure. Defensive, you just would bring healing, right? For your best breaker. Chaotic, it's always kind of open to interpretation what you think is best for breakers, right? I tend to like extra time because it's always there, right? Healer steal can be good at times when the boss heals, for sure. And neutralize is good when you need to remove a stack or something, but extra time is like good all the time, right? It may not be the best buff in some boss situations, but it is good all the time. So you want to bring extra time there. And yeah, that's pretty much the boss. The shield is not hard, assuming your teammates set up a decent run. Whoever starts the lobby, honestly, it's your responsibility to make sure you have a shield breaker. If you start the run without a shield breaker because you didn't want to tell somebody in your faction, hey, pull your head out of your keister, we need a shield breaker, that's on you, right? You shouldn't be starting a lobby if you're not willing to do that. Okay, just heads up. So yeah, I think the boss is going to be doable. I think it's a little less of damage options than we have sometimes because the buffs are so weak. Reinforce, not the best gem we have in the game for sure, and protect gems are gosh awful. One of the worst gems we have in the game as far as damage is concerned. And then the red gem buffs are so low. So yeah, unless you're like, this won't apply to the top factions with a bunch of whales in it and stuff that are gonna run out like some hyped Austin, some like 4 hyped Alistair Black can probably do a bunch of damage too, and he helps with the shield. So he's kind of great in that regard. You could just run a couple of them. You're going to take the shield. You're going to do some damage. Let people, you know, if they're height 4 kind of thing, right? So I don't know. That's what I got for the boss. Hopefully you guys find this helpful. Sorry it's late. It's the best I got this time. So let me know in the comments how boss goes for you and that sort of thing. And yeah, good luck out there, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, you should probably like, subscribe, and share too, because that really helps me out.